We've made it to Wind Cave. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's prairie dogs everywhere. I'm racing against the sun to get to my campsite area before the sun goes down. My pack is really heavy because I have to carry all my water in. So I found what I think is my campsite. I'm in a spot kind of back in the trees because I read that makes it less likely for bison to come near you in the night, just based on anecdotal reading online. I just heard an elk bugle. There's lots of other animal noises. I would really love to go explore more right now, but I think the sun is setting in 20 minutes, so I really better set up my tent. The elk are right outside my campsite. This is so cool. I had to stop setting up my tent because I heard them bugling and I was like, okay, I wonder if I just poke my head out of these trees, will I see anything? And they were like over on the other hill. There was a huge male with these beautiful antlers. Wow, this is incredible. I gotta get my tent set up or else I won't have a shelter for the night. I've had my first elk sighting. There's some males running around on the plain below where I am. It looks like they're fighting for dominance, and I hear one whacking its antlers against the tree, so I'm going to stay really far away. But they're also like the elk sounds are all around. This is so cool. It is morning in Wind Cave National Park. I spent way longer than intended attempting to see elk. I did see a few elk running around. That was exciting, but now I'm starving. I need to go eat breakfast. Just found the remnants of a balloon. There are these muddy patches, which I think is where the bison come and hang out. Yesterday driving in, I saw a bison right next to the road, and it was hanging out in a little rounded mud pit like this one. I didn't realize it was possible to sneak up on a bison, but I almost accidentally did that when I was walking back to my tent. I came around the corner and there was a tree, and like right underneath the tree was a bison. It didn't seem bothered by me, and I think it knew I was there, so fortunately I didn't startle it, but I slowly backed away and then just kind of waited for it to wander off. I didn't realize that they hang out alone. Before, I've only seen them in the giant herd. Then as I was reading the map, I think this is kind of funny. It says, off-trail hiking is not only allowed, it may be necessary to avoid the large wildlife. I wasn't familiar with Wind Cave National Park at all before I saw it on the map planning this trip. Thought I would camp here because it was free, basically. My original plan was to just leave this morning and go drive to Devil's Tower, but the scenery and the wildlife here is so spectacular, I really kind of want to spend another night. I'm developing a new plan. I'm going to spend the day here. I will have to go out and get another permit for another night because my original permit was only for one night. I'm going to spend another night, and I think I'll go to Devil's Tower tomorrow. Oh, and true confession time, I have no intentions of visiting the cave. I am deeply claustrophobic. I hate caves. A friend was like, you should really try to go see the cave. Just looking at the pictures of the cave made me so anxious. Then somebody else, when I was hiking yesterday, she said, oh, you should go see Jewel Cave. So I was like, can I make myself do it? I looked at the pictures of Jewel Cave and I just felt my heart racing, and I was like, I don't think I can make myself do this. You have to go on a guided tour. So I was like, I'm really worried that I'm going to go on a guided tour and have a panic attack and it'll be so embarrassing. So yeah, that's the travesty on this trip. I'm in Wind Cave National Park and I will not be seeing any caves. One of the trickiest parts of finding your own campsite is actually finding an area that's clear and flat. It's surprisingly hard to find. The prairie is flat, but you have to be out of sight of the trail. So I went into the trees, and I also wanted to be a bit sheltered to hopefully avoid the large animals coming near my tent. This tent site was on a little bit of an incline. That made it slightly uncomfortable. Not too bad, but I was definitely kind of sliding downhill the whole night. Okay, I'm ready to go explore. There's my tent down there. This is a really interesting landscape on top of this ridge. It's very rocky. It's not kind of what I would have expected from the prairie landscape, and I gotta be careful because this is definitely prime snake habitat. Okay, got my first snake sighting. This is a little one. It is really interesting seeing all the different mini landscape types in this prairie. So there's a ponderosa pine forest here. Up on the ledge behind my tent, it was very rocky, and that's where I saw the snake. And then there are more of the classic rolling meadows that you think of when you think of a prairie. I had no idea there were cacti on the prairie. I couldn't have known that this park was going to be so cool because there wasn't really a ton of information about it online. I don't think it's a very popular park. I wish I had allocated more time to spend here, or that I had thought to get 2 nights at my permit in the first place. I think I'm just going to kind of meander my way back now to my tent. My tent is somewhere up ahead in this stand of trees. You really need to pay attention in this park. I was wrapped up in my own thoughts, didn't see the bison behind the tree. It snorted at me, so I was definitely too close. And then fortunately, I was able to back away quickly, so it realized I wasn't going to bother it. But really got to watch out behind the trees because that's where they seem to be fighting. It makes sense that that's where they're hanging out because it's so hot in the sun right now. Naturally, they're seeking the shade. I'm back at the parking lot, so I'm now going to go drive to the visitor center to get another permit for tonight. Driving out from this trailhead, you actually need to be really careful not to hit prairie dogs. They do come out on the road, and I think that's one up there. If you see one, I've just edged up really slowly and then they run away. I got a new permit. I'm all stocked up on water. I'm ready for another night at Wind Cave. Ranger told me that bison, apparently they have good sound and scent, but not so much vision, which explains why I almost nearly snuck up on 2 of them today. This time I'm definitely being more alert, and especially looking in those shadowy patches behind the trees. Part of my mission tonight is not only to find a flatter campsite, but I also need to go in search of lost socks. As I was leaving this morning, I realized that I had hung a pair of socks that I was wearing on a tree branch to dry out. I'm pretty sure I accidentally forgot them. I have a good idea of where my campsite was. Since I'm in the same kind of general area today, I'm gonna try to go into the woods and see if I can find them a little bit. I can't spend too long because I do have to find another campsite. I think I remember like a specific rock that was near my campsite, so I'm just gonna go see if I can recover them. They were a pair of brand new Smartwool socks, and it'd be really sad to lose those. Also, I don't want to leave the litter behind, obviously. I'm nearing the intersection of the 2 trails next to a patch of trees where I camped. I'm gonna go into the trees and look for my socks. Here's the rock where I ate dinner. Oh, I see them. Yes, so exciting. Yay. That was satisfying. I wasn't sure I could find the exact spot again. Now my next goal is to find a campsite. Hopefully one a bit flatter than yesterday. I'm gonna camp here. I'm on top of a ridge. There's like a little mini forest here, which I think is good because the trees provide a little bit of protection. There is what looks like a little bit of an animal trail nearby, but it doesn't look very fresh. And another spot that I was looking at earlier, there was lots of bison poop and some of it was rather fresh. So I thought maybe that wouldn't be a great idea. I don't know if that's where they hang out at night. This area does not have any droppings, so I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna set up my tent and get situated. This trekking pole keeps collapsing, which isn't going to work for my tent setup, so I need to tighten the screw. The coyotes are howling. It's so cool. I've never gotten to hear that before. I think I have a really good campsite. It's just a short walk to an open meadow where I'm hoping that I might be able to see some elk in the morning. Oh, that's my Garmin. It just sent a message. Tonight I hear them calling, but they sound like they're very far away. I just went down to the meadow to look and I didn't see anything. I know I talk about this a lot, but I just love my little tent. It looks so nice tucked away in the woods there. Usually I put together my own backpacking dinners, but I didn't have time for this trip, so I'm trying out this Cuban coconut, black beans, and rice. This is really good. I think I might use it as inspiration to make my own recipe. Yesterday when I was getting a new permit, the ranger said, oh, the elk were super loud last night, which was the first night that I was here. And I said, oh, is that unusual? And he wasn't sure how unusual it was, but he mentioned that at some point the elk actually woke him up at night, which the same thing happened to me. So the whole night I could kind of hear the elk sort of quietly in the background. And then at one point in the night, they were so loud that I was woken up. I'm really glad I decided to spend an extra night here. This park is just absolutely beautiful and it's a great place to see wildlife. I'm ready though now to pack up my tent and move on to my next adventure. Such a perfect campsite. I'd love to stay here for another night, but I gotta keep moving if I want to see Devil's Tower and Badlands. I'm all packed up. Rather than going out the same way I came in last night, which would involve backtracking, I'm bushwhacking a path back that's closer to the trailhead. So I'm just walking north, and eventually I will intersect that trail or the road. Just spotted my first bison of today. Apparently the ones that are off by themselves are bulls, so you really don't want to run into a bull and surprise it. Yesterday it was so scary when I just totally didn't see the one sitting behind the tree in the shade and it snorted at me. Fortunately, it wasn't too interested in giving chase. This guy's far away, which is good. Glad to be wearing pants. These are all the burrs that I got walking through that grass. It's a little bit nerve-wracking for me. I haven't done a whole lot of off-trail navigation. I think this is a good place to try it out in because the sections of the park are small enough that if you walked just in one direction for a while, you could pretty easily hit a trail or a road. It's kind of interesting how scary it is to leave the trail when you're used to trail hiking. So there's a bit of a ravine between me and where I need to be. I'm gonna have to figure out how to cross that. I think I'll just keep walking along this hill and see how steep it gets. I've done a good job, fortunately. That is the road right there, and that's, I'm not sure what that is, if it's a ranch or something that I saw on the way in, so yay! Bushwhacking is definitely twice as tiring, takes twice as long. You're fighting your way through, in this case, lots of grass. I was kind of surprised at how exhausting it was, actually, and I was a little bit nervous about going the right way, but I'm really glad I did it. I got to see some landscape that I did not see yesterday, and I would have missed it if I'd just come out on the same trail. Also, I got to try using some basic compass skills. I do have the Gaia app on my phone, and yesterday I was using that to kind of figure out where I was. Today, because it was a fairly simple task, I just had to head north. I decided to resist the temptation to keep checking my location on the Gaia app, and it all worked out okay, so I feel good about that. Next stop is Devil's Tower. It's about a 2.5-hour drive, so I'll arrive around 2 p.m. I'll do some hiking, and then tonight I'm going to be looking for a dispersed campsite.